Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the S.H.Figuarts Son Goku Saiyan Raised on Earth. Now this is also commonly referred to as 2.0 Goku because it was pretty much the introduction of the 2.0 mold that has been used for a vast majority of the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball figures. So it's basically like the gold standard for the Figuarts line, as they used it for pretty much everything, so it had to be good. Now, I have previously looked at this figure in my 1.0 Goku review, where I went over the differences in articulation and sculpt, and the differences that Tamashii have recently sort of introduced to the line, where there is not as much of a heavy focus on paint applications as there is on articulation and pre-molded parts. So there's a lot more part separation for color and things like that, but less actual paint applications. Which, love it or hate it, that is pretty much the way that they're going with these, but that's sort of where we're at. And I did do a breakdown of the figures together in that 1.0 versus 2.0 sort of video, but today we're just going to review the 2.0 figure on its own merits, so I will be going through everything as well, but it might be a little bit of a rapid review. So taking a look at the box, here is the standard, or at least the current standard of S.H.Figuarts, where there's a nice window on the front as well as promo art to the side. On one side we've got comic book style panels sort of showcasing the figure. On the back we've got a bunch of different promo shots sort of showcasing the accessories that you get and what you can achieve with this figure. And then on the other side we've got a slight clear window coming in with the character's name written on the side. And on the bottom, we've got a nice comic book panel shot of the figure in question, which is Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. And then when you open up the side panel, it completes the promo image. I always like to open my figures from this side, just because I think it looks really nice when you complete the image. And now, just taken out of the box and put on a turntable, you can see Goku in all his glory. And it's quite a standard figure, as it should be, because it became the sort of new standard for S.H.Figuarts, and knowing S.H.Figuarts and Tamashii Nations, they like to sell you on alternate figures with different head sculpts, different forms and things like that at later dates. And a lot of these figures share very common accessories and things like that, but that's a discussion for another time. This is the base form, Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, and it achieves everything that it should. It looks like Goku from top to bottom. There are very few paint apps on this figure. I don't even know if he's shaded on the legs so much. I can't really see it. If it is, it's very subtle. But the main paint apps are all of the faces, the sort of floating shoulder pieces for the gi. There are some painted parts there, as well as the upper torso, the blue under-gi, as well as some of the skin tone is all painted, and it is painted rather well and colour matched quite well as well. His boots are painted as well, and while I am a massive Dragon Ball fan, I've never been a big stickler for the slight colour variances between Goku's outfits, so I know that the boots change colour every now and again depending on the shade of blue, as well as if the stripe's yellow or not, as well as the colour of the rope around his boots. But to my knowledge, this is the sort of Goku that we see during Namek Saga. I could be wrong, but that's sort of my understanding of this figure. And he also has a logo on his gi on the front and the back, which is, I believe, a decal, and it is applied very, very nicely. And I don't know the differences for the logos, like I don't know if this is the Kame symbol, I don't think it's the King Kai symbol, it could just be Son Goku symbol. I'm not too sure. I've also never been a stickler for things like that, but I do know that they sort of hovered between those sort of three designs. But regardless, it reads as Goku. Goku comes with 4 faces, which is a standard smiling face, a neutral serious face, a teeth-gritted angry looking to the side face, as well as a shouting face. He also comes with 8 hands, which are 2 sets of fists, 2 sort of ready action pose hands, 2 Kamehameha hands, as well as an instant transmission hand and a sort of waving hello hand. Now, it's quite a sort of standard setup, and for a lot of Gokus going forward, this is pretty much the standard, minus the sort of waving hand. but you sometimes get other ones. You might get very specific reference hands and things like that, but you're pretty much always guaranteed 2 fists, 2 Kamehameha hands, and 2 sort of ready pose hands. That's pretty much the standard Goku loadout going forward, and it hasn't really changed. Now, I did go through articulation on this figure in the 1.0 review, but I will go through it quickly now. So there's a ball joint at the head, as well as at the base of the neck. The neck is a little bit solid on mine, and it doesn't like to bend that much, so Goku can pretty much look up that far, which is pretty much none at all, and look down that far, which is also pretty much none at all. His arm can move out to the side this far. There is a swivel at the upper arm. There's a double arm bend for the elbow, as well as a ball hinge at the wrist. The sleeve is on a sort of floating ball joint, and you can use it to complete the sculpt or break the sculpt depending on how much you activate the butterfly. The butterfly is okay. It's sort of enough to get a Kamehameha pose. Now moving a bit further down, he does have a ball joint ab crunch, and you can sort of pull the ball joint a bit out to get a little bit more, as well as a side to side. It's nothing too crazy, but it's nice that it's there. And the ab crunch allows him to look back that far and forward that far, which helps with the neck. It doesn't help so much looking up, but it is appreciated that you can get some semi-dynamic poses. The belt can swivel around, as well as rotate all around the waist, so you can sort of pose it out of the way and make some nice action poses, which is kind of cool. The whole waist can rotate. The legs can move out to the side this far for a splits. It's not too crazy, but it is pretty good for the 2.0 figures. The 3.0 have done much better. He can kick forward this far and back that far, which is great. He's got a double bend at the knees. And a ball joint at the foot, which allows for a pivot, and there is a toe bend. So yeah, this is pretty much just the standard S.H.Figuarts. If you've ever picked up one of these figures or one of the Dragon Ball figures, there's a good chance that it's pretty much exactly the same as this. At least any Goku body figure is pretty much exactly the same as this. So Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, Awakened Superpower Goku, a Super Saiyan 2 Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, God Goku, parts of the Ultra Instinct figures. I mean, even like the Gogetas, I imagine the new Yamcha, I think the old Yamcha as well. So it was the gold standard of this line. Yes, it's a little bit boring, but it gets the job done. And with that articulation, you can pose him pretty well. So I will be chucking up a few poses throughout this video, and hopefully they're showing up. Now, you can get some fun stuff out of him, especially if you add in Tamashii Nation's stand, or really any stand. The Good Smile Simple stands are quite good. I mean, you could use a Gundam action base, but they're not the best. I'd rather like a simple stand, something you can even get off Amazon, doesn't really matter, or the actual Tamashii branded stands. But yeah, you can get him into pretty decent poses, even though his accessory load is quite light, but he just works well with other figures in the line, and they all scale relatively well together, which is nice. So we'll do a quick size comparison. So here's Goku next to the HG Gundam Ariel. HG Gundams are 1/144 scale, but they work in the 1/12 scale that S.H.Figuarts and Figma sort of live in. Here he is next to the WCF Nico Robin. And here he is next to a newer figure in the S.H.Figuarts line, which is the S.H.Figuarts 3.0 Super Saiyan Trunks, or the Boy from the Future. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to talk about in terms of like what makes this figure so different right now, because when it did first come out, it was wildly different. It was a massive upgrade to what we had prior, and there's a reason why it's been re-released so many times, and there's a reason why and it's used in so many different things and sort of gets support constantly. Like there's an accessory pack coming soon. He gets alternate faces in like the food eating display set. It's just a very good figure that you can do so much with because it's base form Goku. But yeah, now that we've looked at the 2.0 Goku, I'm looking forward to the 3.0 Goku, the Super Saiyan version that's coming out at the end of this year. And while he isn't in his standard gi, he is definitely rocking that new sculpt, and it will be interesting to compare him with the others. I know that Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Ultimate Gohan are very similar because it's the sort of 3.0 mold, and yes, I could do direct comparisons with them, but I think it would work better having like a more standard Goku against another more standard Goku, all things considered. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time.